and welcome to your real estate show with thanks to Harcourts Tasmania. My name is Rachel Williams, happy to be back in the studio feeling nice and refreshed after the Easter and school holiday break. But in our absence, it seems that the real estate industry certainly hasn't slowed down, so we've got another big show for you tonight. We're going to be talking to the Property Council ahead of this weekend's important state election. We've also got a money-saving tip for you with thanks to our new sponsor, MyState Bank. We take a look at what's happening on King Island with thanks to homely.com.au in our regional profile. And stick around because later in the show, an interesting sneak peek through the award-winning Hawley House. But first tonight, a development with a difference. Let's take a look at a property project in Sorell with thanks to Harcourts. Today we are in Sorell at Selina Estate, about 25 minutes outside of the capital city Hobart. I'm with Josh from Podmatrix. Tell us about this exciting new development you've got underway here.
Yeah, it's an exciting development. We've got 22 architecturally designed homes on this site and got some really nice mod cons and some really nice external and internal features, and they're selling really quick.
I have heard that the property prices and interest in Sorell are going gangbusters at the moment, so there's a huge amount of interest, isn't there?
Yeah, well, Sorell in particular is a lot of development. We've got the new highway coming through now, we've got new schools, there's a lot of infrastructure happening, and I think Sorell is going to be the place to be.
Tell us about Selina Estate. It obviously pays homage to a bit of an Italian heritage of the previous owners of the block of land.
Yes, that's right. The Italian owners initially named it Selina Estate, and when you look up this address in Google Maps, it comes up as Selina, so we continue to name it, and it's to do with some olive trees, so we'll have some nice olive trees around the place as well. And
tell us about the interest. It's obviously a mix of 2 and 3 bedroom homes that are being built here on site. What are the logistics and challenges of doing a development like this?
We didn't think it would sell as quick as it has, but the sales through Harcourts are coming through really quickly, and we've just got to try to get them built ready for people to move in as soon as possible. And
so Josh, obviously your business Podmatrix has done some amazing properties across Tasmania. Tell us about how exciting it is to be involved in that pod building phenomenon.
Yeah, well, the pod or modular homes are taking off in Tassie, and as it has done across Australia and particularly in Europe. So we moved away from doing on-site homes, traditional homes, and started doing the transportable homes as Podmatrix. But then we continued to do our on-site builds as well, so now employing around 60 staff. We have our factory at Cambridge, which we produce the transportable buildings, and also have a team of guys that we're doing the on-site builds.
And what are the benefits of those transportable things for places like shacks?
Certainly in regional areas, they get built really quick, so and the staff are in this area, so we're not paying accommodation and travel costs. A lot of cost to be saved on site with temp vents and scaffolding and stuff like that. So certainly regional areas, a pod build can be very cost effective. There's also some really good tax incentives as well to have an on-site or a transportable build as well. And
just finally, there's a few left here on site. Tell us about how much they're going for, and you've also got some other projects in the pipeline.
Yeah, we've got similar projects still in Sorell as well, and 3-bedroom. They're going for offers over 420.
Fantastic. So if you're interested, give Harcourts Signature a call. Well, each week on your real estate show, we're going to be bringing you some financial tips to help save you money and give you some important information with thanks to MyState Bank, who have generously come on board as the show's new sponsor. Tonight's top tip from MyState Bank is to consider what you can afford to pay on your home loan and consider a buffer for any unforeseen financial circumstances or interest rate rises. Let's take a look now at one way to get ahead is to make extra payments so that you can redraw on your home loan when needed. Paying $100 per week extra a week at an interest rate of 2.59% would take 8 years and 7 months of a 30-year mortgage and save you almost $55,000. Each week we've been taking a different look at different regions across the state with thanks to homely.com.au, and today we're venturing to King Island. The islands off Tasmania's north coast have never been more attractive and accessible. We're going to head to King Island now to hear what's happening there. Hello to Mandy Potter from Harcourts King Island. Tell us what's happening in your beautiful part of the world.
Hi, Rachel. Yeah, there's plenty going on over here. We have had a boom like the rest of Tasmania, but our boom has been a little bit different. Instead of attracting people from our traditional mainland, people were Victorians, and now it's moved to more New South Wales and Queensland.
Yeah. Have they said why?
People are, well, weather. They really, really can't cope with the constant heat. And they're just looking for a more self-sustained, clean, green lifestyle.
Well, you've got a lot happening. There's the new golf courses and, of course, the scheelite mine. Give us an islander's view of what's actually happening on the ground there.
Yes, we've got a lot of golfers. If you're out at the airport any day lately, it's very full with golfers coming in and out, which is great because they do spend a bit of time here, have a look around. They're looking at properties, buying properties. The mine is obviously going to have a huge impact, for mainly grassy. It's a good thing. But yeah, we've also got a lot of little businesses. We've also got a power generating wave machine happening, which is quite an interesting cutting edge thing for King Island.
Okay.
So we've got a lot of clean green happening here, really.
And I hear a new gin distillery I might have to travel over to check out, Mandy.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk.
And a brewery, so you'll have to stay. Yes.
Perfect. That sounds like a trip in heaven. Tell us though, there were no actual recorded sales on the island in the December quarter. What are properties actually selling for there?
Anywhere from $38,000 for a block of land in Grassy to, a couple of $1 million for a good quality property. We've got farmland is roughly around $7,000, $8,000 an acre at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We've got such a wide variety of properties here that it's very difficult to average everything out.
Okay,
yes.
So tell us, you do have one very special property that's on the market at the moment that we should take a look at.
Yes, I do. I have Blackwood Park, which is a magnificent, fully restored, renovated home. There's a beautiful horse arena, a dressage arena and a round yard. There's also a motocross track at the property. Beautiful big sheds. Everything in the house has been done so well. It's well worth jumping on Harcourts and having a look.
And how much is that one, Mandy?
On the market at 1.2.
Beautiful. Well, we'll give you
10 acres of beautiful land, yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. We look forward to coming and visiting you in person in the future.
Great. Thanks, Rach. See you.
Bye-bye. Did you know that the property industry actually accounts for $3 billion in economic activity each year and also supports 24,000 direct jobs? We're going to discuss that in more detail next with the Property Council of Tasmania's Rebecca Ellston. Hello, Rebecca. We're going to be talking now to you. You've just taken on the role with the Property Council of Tasmania. Tell us, how's it going? What are the big issues that you're seeing?
I have, and I think the great thing about the property industry is just how incredibly diverse it is. So no one day is the same. One day I could be talking to a member about timeframes with approval processes. The next day I could be talking to a stakeholder about the importance of having an infrastructure pipeline in a post-COVID-19 economy. So I think that's what was so exciting about taking on a role in the property industry.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, obviously a big weekend ahead with the state election. You've called for some key things to be addressed. Tell us a little bit about what you want to see happen with the first home buyer grant.
Yeah, so what we've seen and what we know is that younger Tasmanians in particular are facing a big challenge in entering the housing market for the first time. Median dwelling values went up around 12.5% in the past 12 months alone. So that's why it's so important that we see an increase in the first home owners grant to be able to keep up with those housing pricing increase. It's also absolutely vital that we increase our housing stock. And what the increase does is give more Tasmanians the incentive they might need to build or buy their first home.
Okay, so you're also talking about the assessment process when it comes to councils doing the planning and development applications. Tell us about the one strike policy that you're advocating for.
Yeah, so this is a bit of a different one. So the feedback and what I'm being told anecdotally by members is that some projects and developments are potentially being held up at the approval stage because of continued requests from councils for additional information. So what we're asking for is for a one strike policy to be implemented, whereby councils request all the information they might need to assess an application in one go. Obviously, the onus then also turns to industry and developers to put forward a full and wholesome application as well.
Yeah, and the planning scheme situation, where's that at, just quickly?
I believe at last count it was 27 of the 29 councils had their local provision schedules in, and both Labor and the Liberal government parties, I should say, have promised to implement the full statewide scheme by the end of 2021 if elected. So
Okay,
that's
big
great
promise
news.
indeed. And just finally, one that is often talked about, the tax system. What really needs changing from your perspective, and how urgent is that?
Yeah, so in terms of Tasmania's property taxation in particular, it remains a critical issue for our members. We're a major contributor to the state tax revenue. I think we provided around $385 million in the past financial year alone into state government coffers. So when you look at the forward estimates, we can see the revenue that the Tasmanian government will receive in 23-24 financial year is actually around $162 million just in land tax revenues. And when you look at the figures, that's more than a 50% increase since 2017-2018 financial year. So that's massive. And so the question is, with land values in the state only continuing to increase in the foreseeable future, how can we ensure that we can manage that large jump, and how can we ensure that owners are able to continue paying such large rates? So I don't have the answer. It's, do we look at somewhere like New South Wales where they do their methodology is a 3-year average rather than here where it's an annual valuation on land? As I said, I don't have the answer, but it's a question that needs to be raised through a state review of the whole tax system here in Tassie.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you for that, Rebecca. The property industry is certainly paying its fair share at the moment, that's for sure. Thank you so much for your time today. We'll speak to you after the election.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
Well, to finish off tonight, it's time for our lifestyle segment. Let's head to the first part of our sneak peek through the award-winning Hawley House. Today we have the absolute privilege of walking through one of Tasmania's premier homes, recently constructed here in Hawley in the state's northwest. We're going to be meeting up with Lydia Maskiell, the award-winning interior designer, to take us through the bottom level of this stunning house. Lydia, talk about a grand entranceway. Give us an idea of how this design came about.
Oh, well, it really needed to pack a punch, this space, so it's really quite impactful. We've used really dark textural walls to really draw your eye through the space and highlights this warmth of the timber here. You've got this LED strip lighting which is subtly recessed under the risers, and it's this idea of it floating, which works really well in this space.
Come through here into this amazing room.
So this is a fabulous kids room, perfect little rumpus setting. That we've got our feature hero piece at the corner of the room there, which is a kitchenette.
And so off this amazing children's living area, there are actually bedrooms and en-suites for each of the children. Let's go and take a look. So I love all of this timber cabinetry that you've designed. Tell us about that.
So with this timber cabinetry, we've got this beautiful frame. So it really integrates your study space with the wardrobe space. And it's a little bit of a throwback to the kitchenette in the main rumpus living area. So it's something that flows throughout all of the kids' bedrooms and the guest space.
And so I love that there's so many different shades of this blue that you've chosen.
50 Shades of Blue. It's it's the thing. So again, it's drawing on the coastal vibe of this space, but layering your different blues, pairing it with your linen colours and your soft greys. It's a calming, beautiful palette.
Wow, I love all the different tiles you've selected, and this looks like timber, but actually tile.
I know, it's crazy. It's a timber look tile which works really well in spaces that you're wanting to inject a bit of warmth into a bathroom, but you can't actually use a real timber in a bathroom. So it is a great tool, and because it does have that three-dimensional effect to it, it's bringing that warmth texture into the space.
Wow, look at this laundry. I've never seen something so beautiful. I actually wouldn't want to get it dirty. Really intrigued by the dark nature of the cabinetry and then the uplifting of the whites and the greys. How did that come about?
It's a really good colour as far as a base to feed off and pair with your timber elements, your softer whites, even through the marble palette as well.
And this little area through here, I love the wallpaper that you've selected.
Oh, it's fabulous. So again, it's beautiful because it references the black cabinetry that we've got in the laundry, but again, it's got its own little personality and identity, which has been a key thing throughout this house.
Just to remind you that you are in fact at the beach as well.
That's right, yes.
You'll have to join us next week for the jaw-dropping upper story of that amazing beach shack at Hawley. Well, that's it for your real estate show tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you'd like your property profiled as part of the show, don't forget to drop a line to one of your Harcourts representatives across the state. But that's it for now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rachel Williams. Good night.